Good afternoon, everyone. It's just after 1 o'clock on Wednesday, the 25th of August, and you should get this in your inbox on Saturday, the 28th of August. The trend situation in VectorVest UK looking good. We've got 3 green lights. That means that the price is up of the VectorVest composite is up day over day and week over week. The momentum is measured by the RT of the VectorVest composite is up day over day and week over week. And the buy-sell ratio also up day over day and week over week. The proprietary market timing indicator is at 1.29, and that means that there's a fair amount to go before it moves into an overbought situation. Similarly, the buy-sell ratio at 1.89 has got quite a way to go before it moves into a overbought situation. So all the trends on VectorVest looking good. The short-term trend is up. Underlying trend is up. The DEW, which is not reflected in the front page of VectorVest, is up. And our longest term measure of the trend is up. Okay, so a good situation. And the advice VectorVest advocates buying safe undervalued stocks that are rising in price at this time. It's so easy to make this business of stock market speculation and investing much more difficult than it should be. And in the essay I've tried to clarify, and I'm going to look now at 3 stocks, and in those 3 stocks demonstrate my standard chart layout. So if I have a look at my viewers, I've brought these 3 stocks up. There are 3 stocks that I've been talking about in the new VectorVest.co.uk blog that I started again a couple of weeks ago, and I'll be updating that every Thursday from now on. The shares, Lasico, Cape Tech, 3i, I've been speaking about them at the Monday afternoon Q&A sessions as well, and I found these stocks from the worry-free watch Unisearch, and as you can see, all of the shares have got an RV of greater than 1.25, which is what I asked for, and they've all got a high relative safety. In this case, they are the share price is less than the value, less than the value, less than the value. So it's a conservative Unisearch where I'm looking for price less than value, RV greater than 1.25, and then sort them by relative safety to bring the best shares to the top of the list. As you can see, the CI, the comfort index, all very strong in all 3, saying that the long-term trend is at our back. And as you can see, percentage annualized growth rate at 29, 39 and 26. So exceptionally good VectorVest metrics. And I find those from, as I say, the standard worry-free watch list, and then I cherry pick looking for shares that I like the look of. And these 3 came up quite easily. Now that's my standard layout, folks. There's the price over the last year, and above the price I've got this thick green line is the VectorVest valuation, and I'm primarily looking for shares that are trading below the VectorVest valuation, and as you can see, this share was a long way below it. It's actually just got to the VectorVest valuation now. Earnings per share rising and rising strongly and linearly from the bottom left to the top right of this window, and as you can see, this company has grown earnings per share from 11 pence to 19 pence over the last year. That's quite something, and that's what's driven the share price up. I know it's an anecdotal observation, but this smoothly rising earnings per share is an incredibly leading indicator on VectorVest, and I found that most of my trades work out when I'm in sync with this earnings per share. The longer term people using the earnings per share King's methodology that we've spoken about at our national user group and on Monday afternoons look at a much longer version of this over 3 to 5 years. But in my short-term trading, I look at it over 1 year. VectorVest gave a buy signal for this share just here, and that buy signal is still in place. Went to hold for a day or two. Hold means hold, and it's still on a buy recommendation. I recommended it in the blog somewhere down around here because it actually charted one of my famous spring formations, where if I blow it up a little bit, there's resistance, and it came back and kissed that a couple of times, and that was the spring. And that's why I love the spring so much, because that was a really fast move from somewhere about 360, 370 to 480 in a few days. So that's my standard layout, and when the general market is rising and I find shares that have got this mixture of a technical and fundamental, then things invariably go well. I speak probabilistically. Nobody knows what's going to happen next, but if the general market is rising, if I've got a share that's in the throes of a strong trend, that's growing earnings strongly, and it's undervalued, then invariably the trades work out most of the time. This is Cape Tech, and I've been talking about Cape Tech on Monday afternoon since about here. I always like this. There's an undervalued stock. Earnings per share is rising. Over the last year, it's gone from 9 pence to 18 pence. That's quite something. Clearly here, it broke out, and as you can see, earnings per share ramped up, and a breakout of that level of resistance, as you all know by now, I call that the rocket launcher, and that would have been a great entry at 250. As you can see, VectorVest has been on a buy recommendation since down here. Then it charted this rounding bottom, and it seems to have broken out of that bottom. When we had our Q&A on Monday afternoon, I felt that pull back to that last old high would be a great place to get aboard, and the last buy signal occurred just there. So the little light blue line down below the price is the VectorVest calculated stop loss. So as you can see, it's been north of its stop loss since right down here, since this buy signal down here at less than £2. So let's have a look at another one. This is 3i. I think this share's got impeccable growth fundamentals and great safety of earnings. It should do very well from the part of its business that in fact is based on infrastructure. Earnings per share moving up strongly from 120 to 180. The share price, based on this ramp up in earnings, significantly undervalued. We had resistance. It came back and kissed that. It's now moving up strongly. Went on to a VectorVest buy somewhere about here, and to me it looks as if it wants to go much higher. I think all three want to go much higher. I speak probabilistically, folks. Nobody knows what's going to happen next, but if you focus on shares that are undervalued, if you focus on shares that are growing earnings strongly, and you buy those shares when they're on a buy recommendation and when the general market is rising, you get very lucky indeed without a great deal of effort. I find the shares from the worry-free watch list, and the worry-free watch list I've shown many times. If I go to Unisearch, and I put it as a part of my ISA Millionaire course, because I teach it in the ISA Millionaire course that we do at the start of the year, coming up to ISA Money time. That's the Unisearch, where I'm looking for relative value greater than 1.25. I put in a stock's volume of 50,000 based on a 50-day moving average of volume. Shouldn't be on a sell. In this variant, I have no AIM stocks, but quite easy to take that out. In fact, there's there's an awful lot of opportunity in some really good AIM stocks at the moment, and the shares should be above 50 pence. And the shares that come out of that, we sort by relative safety, bring the safest ones to the top, and then have a look at them. I think that you can also put a line in here which gets rid of investment trusts. I'm not big on investment trusts. I know many people love investment trusts, but I'm happier investing in actual companies themselves. So folks, I hope you found that useful. We'll have another look at that in detail at our Q&A, and the first one will be on the 6th. The next one, should I say, will be on the 6th of September. No Q&A on the 30th. It's a bank holiday, August bank holiday, so have a great trading week. Just remember, the run-up to the American Labor Day is normally one of the second quietest week of the year, Christmas week being the quietest week of the year. So don't make it too difficult, folks. Focus on undervalued stocks that are growing earnings strongly, and that is measured by relative value. It's measured by relative safety. You want the share to be in the throes of a strong trend. That's measured by CI, and it should be on a buy recommendation. And as I've said to you many times, I believe 70% of the exercise is the general market, and the general market, the front page of VectorVest should be saying that it's safe to buy stocks. Longer term holders will just use confirmed calls. More aggressive people can get in with a shorter term market timing system such as the DEW. I talked about market timing last week in some detail in the essay, so if you're a bit vague in that, have a look at last week's essay. So I hope this helped, folks. Have a great long weekend. Bye.
Yeah.